There it is. The broadcast is live. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, it's been a nice little 2-week vacay hanging out with y'all, doing something outside of Facebook for the last 2 weeks. But we are back, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is Monday, July the 27th. Oh my God, we are already deep into July. And we have a special guest. Of course, first of all, I want to welcome back my co-host, Laquita Monley, M5 Real Estate Solutions, and of course, Monley Innovations. How you doing over there, Laquita?
Man, I'm doing good, Vic. I can't complain. It's good to be back. 2 weeks has seemed like a lifetime. I was getting myself set up today. I was like, man, I almost forgot how to do this. It's been so long.
I'm telling you, same here. It's like with traveling, vacations. I know you got the grandbaby over there and just sports and all kinds of stuff happening. Summer is, even with the pandemic, summer is in full swing. And we're excited because it's been about 6 months, maybe 6.5 months, since we had my good friend, business partner, in many ways, Mr. Brandon Powell. How you doing there, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Good evening to everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to have you. And I'm already looking at this image. Anybody that's on Facebook, they already sharing, liking, and commenting. If you're not, please do so now, because we're going to be talking about my good friend Brandon here about a new book he's releasing. One of his books, not a new book, one of his books that he's releasing now, The Art of Business. Man, congratulations, sir. The Art of Business. And you have some principles. What is The Art of Business? Principles and strategies for the everyday entrepreneur. I'm the everyday entrepreneur, and this man has coached me tremendously over this last year. So I know some of those nuggets in there. So tell us a little bit about why you're releasing this book, Brandon, The Art of Business.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the introduction, man. I've tried to do my best to add value, and with this book here, it's really just a culmination of the years of. If I had to quantify it, it's probably about 500 hours worth of intellectual property or information that's been collected over the years from either workshops, masterminds, individual consultations, or just independent research and studying my client portfolio, and just realizing there's a lot of things and patterns that I kept noticing. And for my business, the way I serve my clients, I'm dealing with so many different industries. And so I had to figure out what are the timeless principles that can apply to the new beginner or the seasoned veteran that's been in the industry for a long time. And it could be to speak to both of them without insulting the intelligence of one or speaking over the head of the other. So it's just my attempt to put something in place that everybody can, like it says, the everyday entrepreneur can understand.
That's awesome. And I assume the art is there a special reason why you called it the art of business?
Yeah, I think I call it the art of business simply because, it's not a, we always look, some people, when we look at business, we kind of look at it as a straight line formula. And there's an art to it, meaning, there's a lot of relative value in some areas, some things that work more efficient for others and in other areas than others. And so you want to just kind of pay attention to the flow of how things go and what works for you individually. And so in that sense, it is an art. It's a creative process. It's not always black and white. It's not always straightforward. Sometimes success, can come, and then sometimes you're in the trenches right after you experience success. So it's a journey. And so that's what the indication of that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Laquita, we've been in business. All of us been in business for a minute here for a second. I remember when Brandon came before, he gave us a bunch of great marketing tips and things like that.
He did.
I guess besides marketing, what would be something that we should probably expect to get from this book, Brandon? I mean, obviously you said 500 plus hours of your coaching. Like, what's one tip, I guess, that people can feel like they can get that you can expound on? And obviously they can reach out to you for coaching and get the book. But what's one principle that you think would be so important for entrepreneurs to get from this book?
Great question. I think for me, I break down the chapters dealing with different aspects of business. And so I'll speak to the outcome. If a person reads this book, the objective would be for them to feel more confident and competent in how to run their business, and more importantly, how to navigate the market in a way that can keep them from getting taken advantage of, becoming more efficient. What I've noticed is that a lot of business owners, they work hard. That's not the issue. It's just now we're trying to figure out how to become more efficient and more effective. And so one of the chapters I deal with is, dealing with networking like a pro. Oftentimes when we're, in order for us to generate business, we need to network. And so there is a way to do it properly. There's a way to do it, average, and then there's a way to do it very proficiently. And so, I put in there's a point that I make in one of the pages in that chapter where I asked the question, when you leave an event and you got a stack of business cards, oftentimes we don't know what to do with those business cards. We love the euphoria of that moment of collecting cards and making conversation. And, it seemed like things are going well. But besides those one or two people that are obvious that you seem like either can become your clients or meet up for coffee, you've got 10 or 12 other cards you have no idea what to do with. Mm-hmm. And so that understanding, that strategy should already be understood before you even get out of the car in the parking lot. And so dealing with the aspect of networking like a pro is very, very important, because some of those people could end up being friends, business partners, or clients for the next 5-10 years, depending on how you handle it.
That's a great point.
I like the fact that you called it an art of business, because it's business principles can be like a consistent foundation, but it is an art form to get those things to work together, or to find a system and a way that's effective for you and your business, and to how to make it grow. It's not a cookie cutter solution to any one business. You have to find a pattern or a system that's conducive to you and your company, and how to grow it, how to scale it, how to get people and partners, and how to find the right partners or to help you build your business the way that you want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can get much further with a group of folks than you can with one individual. I mean, we want to be, especially entrepreneurs, and I think this is a good point to sit on for a second, is because as entrepreneurs, you started something, you came up with this concept that you feel so passionate about, but we're not all great at bookkeeping or great at marketing per se, or great at even operations of a business, but we know what we love, and we're really passionate about extending that product or service to people. But that's when it's super important to know and to discern when it's time to bring on strategic partners, collaborating with people that have an expertise in a particular area, and they can bring that to the table. You add value to them in your area of expertise, they add their value, and everybody wins, including the end user of that product or service. And, we're always, I don't think there's been an episode yet, Laquita, that we've not mentioned something about having that proper team, team to help you no matter what kind of project you're on. We're real estate investors, but any project in a business situation, you should be thinking about a strategic partnership and some things, some people that you can partner with. So I'm glad you called that out. So just as an aside, real quick, you mentioned networking. So just as a fun little, quick fun tip or something we could throw out there, fun fact, what is your favorite and worst thing about networking, Brandon Powell?
Oh man, I got time for this. No,
favorite and worst thing. I got my notebook out.
So for me, I think the favorite thing that I enjoy about networking is the people. Mm-hmm. I think the thing for me is when you come in with the right mindset, every networking opportunity is great. But that is great for me because I try to understand where I'm going. And so, for example, if I buy a brand new expensive fishing rod and I buy the most expensive bait, but then I drive and I go pull up to a swamp and I throw my line out there, my intention is to catch some bass, but I might come up with some snapping turtles in the alligator or something I don't want to catch. And so that is my favorite and worst thing about networking, is that when you go to the right place, you can have a good time and because you're in front of your target audience. Mm-hmm. But the worst thing about it is that you can, as business owners, we can find ourselves getting frustrated, and we blame that networking is not working, or maybe my business plan isn't working. You might just be fishing in a swamp and you're supposed to be in fresh water. somewhere else,
Right.
even though you have the right equipment, you wrote the right business plan, you got some good business cards, but you're not in front of the right target audience. And so that is one of the challenges that I don't necessarily not like. It's just it breaks my heart to see that entrepreneurs experience that, because that's one of the things that can hinder their ability to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you could expound just a little bit more on how does the entrepreneur determine what's the right area for them to fish in, whether it's the swamp, the sea, the river, the lake. How do they get down and really figure out what my target audience is?
Yeah. I mean, you name that list, you got to include the backyard pool. No, I'm kidding.
For sure.
But I mean, for me, it's kind of a thread that keeps going, right? Because you got to think about who your target audience is. Once you understand that, you got to think, where do they go? What kind of interest do they have? And what's available in your area. And so for me, I'll just use mine, for example. I kind of cross-pollinate in a couple of different industries, but let's just say small business, for example. If I look up an event and I say, you know what, that I'm available that date, but then I look at the details of the event, and it's a quilting class. Now, nothing against those that quilt. I mean, I'm sure you can make some beautiful quilts, but I don't have no business being there unless I'm doing that for a leisure purpose and I want to learn that skill. I'm really setting myself up for failure, because it doesn't matter if I'm there for 5 minutes or 5 hours. I'm going to go there and not really maximize my time. Now, sure, I could meet somebody there that I could end up doing business with, but I'm really not choosing the places that I'm going to very strategically. And so you want to understand, why am I going there? Not out of convenience because a friend or an associate invited you, say, hey, I think this would be good for you to go. Well, unless they understand who your target market is, they might be inviting you somewhere that may not be maximizing your time. Now, we're talking from a business context. So I'm not suggesting that you don't go bowling or, hang out with friends. That's not what I'm suggesting. But from a business context, I think we should give a little bit more thought as to who they are, what kind of places do they like to go. And if you're not sure who it is, you just think about your last 10 clients. What are their interests? And I say clients because those are people you close business with.
Right.
So you got data right there. Well, why not 100 clients? Well, some people might not have 100 clients to reference. Right. But usually your last 10 is a good indicator. You say, well, my last 10, what kind of behavior patterns do they have? What kind of professions do they, are they in? What kind of industries are they in? And that may reveal some of the answers you need. So for example, for me, chambers of commerce, years ago, I came to understand that my target audience is at the chambers of commerce. So let me show you how deep that is. Because I understood that, I got heavily involved in it. Now I have about 5 chambers of commerce that are clients, and I'm a chairman of the board of a chamber. That one decision of understanding who my target audience was, it allowed me to feel more comfortable with pursuing that, as opposed to spreading myself thin, because we all know we're not having a shortage of opportunities. Everybody and their cousin will invite you to everything. So we've got to be a little bit, you have to exercise a little discretion to filter through the things that may not be worth your time from a business standpoint.
That's a powerful point there, because I spent a huge chunk of 2019 pursuing relationships, looking for strategic partnerships. Some were great, quite a few were not, and it was because, again, people are excited. They see you got something and you're coming, and they're going to sell or say the things that will attract you to them so that they can add you to their situation. But it doesn't always mean it's a mutual benefit to you as a business owner. But again, you're this new brash green entrepreneur out here. I got to make relationships. I know this is the opportunity I've been waiting on right here in this little bitty car, this 3x5. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. And then after a call, maybe 2 calls, you've wasted 2 hours and there's nothing beneficial for you or them in that situation. So I love what you're saying here about knowing your target audience, and even deeper than that, where are they at? What are they doing? Where can you bump into them? Where can you communicate to a bigger group of them than one or two sprinkled into this group of a whole nother group of people you really probably don't have anything in common with. So that is a powerful concept. If you're laying out that kind of jewels in this book, The Art of Business, brother, people should be jumping all over the website now. In fact, can you please give us the site so we can drop it in the link? People might be trying to order this book now. We hadn't even put it up here yet. So
sure.
Where they can buy the book, and also we'll talk about the event coming up this weekend.
Sure. It's www.lohcpromo.com. That's lohcpromo.com. The acronym LOHC is for Lean on Him Consulting, promo.com.
Which, by the way, I failed to mention in the beginning. That is the name of your company, CEO, founder of Lean on Him Consulting. Powerful business, been in business over 10 years. And this is, what number book is this for you, Brandon?
It's number 5.
Wow. I love it. Awesome. So tell us about the event coming up this weekend. I've heard something about something happening Saturday, August 1st, where you're going to be releasing this book. Tell us a little bit about it, sir.
Oh, man. So we took a non-traditional approach. And I think, Vic, you might be pretty familiar with this event because you're a guest speaker on it. So, yeah, you should be familiar with it.
I know a little bit about it.
So, traditional thought is, hey, we're releasing a book. So why don't we invite a bunch of people out to, have a book signing? And that's part of it. But I wanted to make sure that if people invest their time, whether it be virtually attending or physically attending, obviously practicing social distancing, we want to make sure they leave with some value. I wanted to make sure that we educate and provide an opportunity for networking. And so what we did is we combined a book signing event with the concept of what I normally do with my business mastermind. So when you show up, the agenda is dedicated to highlighting about the book and a little bit about that, but we're going to go straight into educating, covering concepts on business, because right now, I think this is the most important time for business owners to get information that they can utilize. Sure, I'd appreciate anyone that wants to support and purchase a copy of the book, and I'll sign it. But we want to make sure you leave with information right away that you can apply to your business. And so I'll be covering a portion of things from my book, covering specific things that you can ask questions about. And then, of course, guest speaker Victor Johnson, he'll be sharing some concepts and good nuggets as well. But we want you to leave feeling more connected with those that are in attendance, having gained more insights, whether it be business or in this case, real estate or credit from Victor. And we just want to make sure we add value. So it's a little bit more novel approach, but it's because we want to create more value.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, man. This has been exciting. And again, we talk about those strategic partnerships. I started out as a client of yours, probably a year ago, almost to this date. I know it was July for sure, 2019, came to you, met a mutual friend that knew you from something. In fact, I think after we talked about it, you knew them from a whole nother person or whatever. And so this is, again, how that rabbit hole continues to get deeper and deeper. And I started out just getting some branding consulting. You did redid my logos, beautifully done logos, which are still getting rave reviews. I was just in Atlanta this weekend. People like, man, who did your flyers? So you might be getting a call from a couple people this week, man.
Okay.
But this has turned into a year later, being able to grace the stage with you. I'm very honored to be, even asked to be a guest speaker for your event this coming weekend. Because again, I know the caliber of customers that you deal with and also the type of people you deal with. And so it has been beneficial to me to kind of, hang on your coattail. I hope there's been some benefit as well on my end by, being around you, adding some value, and maybe some people that have helped you as well in this process. But I'm really excited about it. Laquita, I don't know if you're able to add. I sent the flyer over. I should have sent it before the broadcast, but if you're able to put the flyer up, because we had to change the dates, obviously, a couple of times. So this is the one that's got August 1st. Because of COVID, we've had to change this date, two times? This is the third date, I believe. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we're really honored, and I'm very grateful to be on the stage. I'll be talking about how to leverage funding so you can get into real estate investing. Obviously, I'm always going to have some pieces about how to improve your credit score, as a certified credit consultant, I can't have a conversation without sharing those things with people. And I'm just happy that entrepreneurs will have an opportunity to get all your 500 plus hours of great expertise. And also I can add maybe a little bit of flavor to them to help them. Right now, a lot of people are trying to get funding from these various outfits, from, SBA loans to funding from even PPP, I think might be kicking back off again or something. So some of these people need to realize your credit score would be a factor, even though it's not the whole factor. They will look at that and they may determine or limit the amount of money that you can get towards your business. So thank you, Laquita, posting that there. That's the flyer for this coming weekend, 10 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time, www.lohcpromo.com. And Brandon has made it extremely easy for those of you out there that are in different locations than Dallas to log on and be able to benefit from this great information from the luxury of your bedroom. And you can log in on Saturday and get all this great wisdom in on Saturday. So thank you. I appreciate you, having me on your show for this weekend, man.
Yeah,
indeed.
I don't think this is something that people within the area, even outside of the area, should miss. You guys have some amazing value that you can bring. And this is something that you want to do. Like right now during COVID, things haven't been as fast paced as they normally are for businesses or customers. And this is a perfect time for those who are seeking to become entrepreneurs, or you're already entrepreneurs, to do exactly what Brandon said. This is the time to soak up all of the wisdom and knowledge that you can while things aren't moving at such a fast pace. Take that information and begin to implement it in your business and watch your business benefit from the implementation of the things that you learn. And this is a great opportunity for people to be able to tune in and get the information that they need to be their future self, right?
Absolutely. Good stuff. I love it. I appreciate that. So again, we're sticking on this topic of strategic partnerships. One thing that I know that you've done well of is you've taken people that you've worked with, Brandon, over the years or, time, and you have this unique knack of putting people together, I've noticed, that have certain skill sets that may benefit each other. You want to talk about that a little bit, or is that something you strategically do? Is it luck? Kind of tell us about how you're able to do these collaborations that keep continuing to produce fruitful relationships.
Oh, man. I would tell you that it definitely is not done by osmosis or, the luck of the draw or anything like that. That's how you end up with a lot of knots on your head and bumping your head, making mistakes. And I've got a few to account for that. So for me, it is a very strategic process. I cover this a little bit in the book. One of the chapters I talk about is it only takes one project to discover this. And what I'm referring to is the idea of understanding and getting to know people. Many of us, we meet people, they sell you the moon and promise you the stars, they talk about different things you can do collaboratively. And, the first time you get excited because what happens is it connects with your ego, because you're like, wow, this person values my time. They look at me as a person that I can collaborate with, and it feels great. Until you've wasted about 3 months and then you realize this isn't really going anywhere, or the pace is going much too slow, or I'm having to invest too much time, energy, and resources, and I'm not really seeing the benefit to come, or it just goes in a totally different direction other than what was agreed upon. And so what I value is being able to assess that a lot quicker. There's a principle that I teach in my workshops called the 80-20 rule, where when I'm interacting with potential strategic partners, I'm looking at that rule, which is 20% skill set, 80% relationship. And so typically it's flip-flop. We love being drawn to people who are highly skilled and gifted. And don't get me wrong, that is needed. But the 80% is more important to me these days. Relationship, what does that actually mean? It's a combination of just good decency, good business etiquette, human relations skill, being able to work with people. So the best example I can give is if I meet a graphic designer, which I work with a lot of graphic designers. I'm a certified graphic designer myself, but I love collaborating with those who have the same skill set and work in the same industry.
Nice.
But if they're really good at graphic design and I assign them a project with one of my clients, and if anybody's been in business long enough, you're going to have some adversity sometimes when you're working with clients because you're trying to get it right. Well, if a client, expresses themselves out of frustration, that's not the time for you to go off on them and send them an all caps email in red font, because even though you're a great designer, you may not share the same business philosophy as I do. Then it doesn't mean that I'm gonna let clients walk all over me, but there's a certain way that you want to conduct business because your response may damage that experience that I can have, and I may have to. It may be too much damage for me to come back and repair. And I honestly have had those situations occur, and so you want to be able to pay attention to certain things early on, and even before that, when you meet people. I'm not suggesting that we go in and we're kind of evaluating people because we have to work on ourselves as well.
Mhm.
But what I like to do is I like to think long term with whoever I meet. If I meet you, I want to think, okay, what can we accomplish together in the next 5 years? When you have that kind of mindset, it makes you go at a much slower pace. You're not in a rush to try to sell someone. If anything, you're interested in the person. And what I found is that people can actually pick up on that. They can tell whether or not you actually are interested in them as a person. And the other thing is I usually try to think of very specific things we can start collaborating on immediately because I need to understand who you are.
Mhm.
We met briefly, we talked briefly, but we really don't get a chance to get to know each other until we worked on at least one project. And so after we do that, my intention is to upgrade it. I want to upgrade it and see what the ceiling is. Can we work on another project? Can we knock out a few things and celebrate some wins together? And I've been fortunate enough to have a few people in my life, in my professional life, that have been great strategic partners. We send a lot of business to each other, and it's a great opportunity. But that's just one level. Me strategically deciding to have Victor on as a guest speaker is not because he's the only author I know, but it's because we work great together, and he's a highly skilled person, but he also values relationships. He's a professional guy. I may know 15 videographers, and I actually do, but within the course of a year, I may only work with one or two. It's because I also have what's called a 18-point vetting process, and that's something that has been extremely helpful for me because I can kind of filter and understand what I'm dealing with.
You can't say that, man, without giving us one, brother. You got to give 1 out of 18, man. What's one? One.
I give you half of one.
1 out of 18, brother, for the pet project.
Give us a piece of nugget about this 18.
You said give you one. Huh? Give you one of them. Okay.
Something.
Anyhow, it don't have to be in particular order. Just one of them.
You know what, Vic? Because you my boy, I'm gonna give 2 of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna give 2 of them. So, and I won't have time to explain and break down all of them, but I'll just give you 2 of them. So one of them is, do we shine well in a room together? So, well, what does that mean? We're all adults. We all have ambitions. And sometimes you need to get an understanding when people say they want to win. Sometimes people want to win, but they want to win by themselves, and they act like teammates, but they have a different jersey on underneath. And so, you just kind of gotta pay attention to, do we shine well together? Meaning, if the spotlight is on both of us because we're trying to win together, are you mad because more of the light bulb is on me than you?
That's powerful.
So do we shine well together? Now, what are the long-term implications of that? Well, that kind of behavior pattern will end up deteriorating an ecosystem when you start referring other business and other people collaborating, because we're always on our best behavior when we start collaborating with people. So if that's what leaks out in the beginning, what's going to happen when you get more comfortable? So, I did promise 2, so let me give you the other one.
I love it.
The other one is, I'm just kind of skipping through them. Do you take credit for the assist and the shot taken?
Wow.
That one's kind of self-explanatory, you know.
I'm wearing my Kobe, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Unintentional. But you know, do you take credit for the assist and the shot taken? You know, there's going to be times in the business where we just admit it. We perform better when we operate together. Mm-hmm. And so, after the end of the game, metaphorically speaking, are you going around after the post game interview talking about how you took over the game and took care of everything, and the last second shot was because of you, and you did the hockey assist, but you want to take credit for shooting and making sure we won. And just because you're a contributor doesn't mean you have to take credit for it all. And so that's an indication of an ego issue. Mm-hmm. And you know, we've got to be secure enough in ourselves to be able to celebrate wins with each other and not want to hog all of the credit.
For sure. I love that, man.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Those are great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing again, folks. This is typically a paid service. So thank Create Your Future Self Live for being able to present this.
I hope you're writing this stuff down.
Sponsored opportunity here. So yeah, it's good stuff. You mentioned something though in the previous moments where you were saying that you would work with a designer, even though you already are a designer yourself, graphic designer yourself. That's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? I mean, all the business owners I hear say, "No, I would never work with competition." What in the world are you saying here, man? Make it plain for us.
Well, you know, for me, I have an abundance mentality.
There you go.
You know, I really I don't really get concerned with, you know, concepts like market saturation. You know, that those kind of things don't really intimidate me. And I understand that it's not a traditional thought process, but I mean, I would just say this: if I tally up the math on it, it served me pretty well, and we've been able to accomplish quite a few things. If I'm a rancher and someone else herds sheep, you know, and we meet on the side of the road, you know, I can make a good steak and he can make me, you know, probably some good clothes, some good Levi's, you know, or True Religion jeans or whatever. So while I'm sitting out eating my steak, while he's sitting out eating the steak that I made in his good jeans. So that's where commerce comes in. You're able to collaborate. But even if we have the same thing, you know, it doesn't matter. We can still collaborate and we can have more. We can conquer more together. In fact, that's what I was able to accomplish with a select few people that I ended up starting as clients. We were able to go through the process, the vetting process, and we were able to launch a new company coming up pretty soon. Each one of them, some of them actually do exactly what I do, but they're the kind of people that doesn't bother them. You know, I've had a chance to celebrate some wins with them. We went through a lot together, and so that's what it's all about.
I love that. I love the concept. Abundance mentality. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I have this saying that it's not my original saying, but I certainly live by it, which is givers are receivers. You know, we're here to serve, and I am very much a God-fearing man, and I believe in that, you know, that if we can approach every day with how can I be of service to somebody else? What can I do for somebody else? You'll never have anything to worry about. You'll never lack because you'll always have, you know, the universe, the God taking care of you because you've been such a faithful giver. So I really love that concept, and it should translate into business as well. You know, like you said, you know, I'm probably one of the few people that I've had other certified credit repair folks out there reach out to me like, well, you know, I know you probably don't want to connect with me because we in the same business. No, I'm in the real estate business. I actually add credit as a service to those who want to get into real estate investing or buy a house. So I became certified to that, but I'm not in competition with anybody that does credit repair because that's not my end all operation. You know, I want to use that to help people get into long-term investments with their real estate. And so I love meeting new credit repair people because we can all exchange information. You might have a technique that works great for that gets results for your clients that's legal. And, you know, maybe we can exchange how we can work that into a strategy for each other or something. So I love that concept, and I appreciate you sharing that. Laquita, anything on that? You know, I know that's definitely how you roll.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not in competition with anyone, with any other real estate investors or anyone else who is a partner on the Rise platform with their being an IBO and having a call center. That's not the thing. Like one of my really good friends told me about the IBO opportunity, and I shared it with another friend, and we work well together. So it's not about, it's enough people in the world for everybody to eat. We don't have to be in constant competition with each other. And if we look at it still in these billion-dollar industries, these gentlemen and ladies are not in competition with each other. Like on the outside, us looking in, they are. But if we're looking at their end of year reports and we're going through these different things, you can see how they're actually in collaboration with each other. They're not, I was just reading a thing. I was just reading something right before we came on about how different athletes and entertainers and whatnot are coming together to build up the female soccer industry in this country. They're not in competition with each other. They're coming together to make their money, make more money.
Right.
And we have to learn that as small business owners, how to collaborate together to make our money, make more money.
Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, I don't see any way. I mean, I know it's a lot of businesses out there, and I got to assume that all of them has some kind of collaboration involved, the successful ones, the ones that are no longer here, probably those guys or ladies that are trying to carry the entire project, the entire business on their own and never really thought to include other people. So what's this image you got up here on this screen, man? Brandon, what is this, man?
Well, that's the result of collaboration.
Screen. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. You might recognize one of those people on the screen. That's the result of collaboration. For those that may be less familiar, we've kept it under wraps, but we spent the last 6 months with each other training, preparing for this particular company launch. But each of these individuals I've met at different points in my life. I didn't come to them saying, hey, let's work together or whatever the case may be. There's a potential for us to start a company. It wasn't even on my mind at the time. But I tell people all the time, when the person is right, the project doesn't matter. And so, the opportunity presented itself late last year. It was on my mind. And I had a list of people that I wanted to collaborate with based on that 80-20 rule, the skill set as well as relationship. And so each of these gentlemen they're all leaders. They have their various skill sets. Two of them do similar things that I do in terms of branding and marketing, graphic design. But I've also sat across the table with them and done projects with them and observed how they do business. And so we're excited about the company. What we're doing is it's going to be a membership-based platform. And us as the course instructors, it won't be just limited to us, but it's going to start with us as the founders. And we're going to take our expertise and provide it through the video training format. So we're going to dump all of our knowledge into this video platform where people can sign up for a membership, either pay $35.99 a month or $99 a month and get access to everything that we have to offer. Everything that I've learned, I say 500 hours, but it's really close to 1,000 because I've had a chance to bump my head quite a bit and be in the field. I pride myself on being in the field, learning as much as I can. So we're going to cover things about networking, how to start a business, videography, social media, branding, real estate, credit, the art of storytelling. We've got tons and tons of content, but we understand that if we really were to package this in a full retail price, the pricing would be astronomical. And so we decided to lower the threshold so that people can get access to it just as a monthly membership. And so in addition to that, we're going to actually have it to where that's not the only thing we offer. We're actually, if you notice what we're wearing these custom jackets. They are custom with our name on the interior with the little logo piece. There may be somebody that wants to be an instructor. We welcome that. We actually have training to bring people on to have the branding consistent. And maybe there's a topic that and you want to teach on, or you already have a video training and you already do this. We welcome additional instructors as well. You end up getting a jacket, a custom jacket made, and we also have a ring. Some of you might not be able to see the ring from here, but we actually have a custom ring that gets made as well. And you know, but that in addition to that, we actually are starting a clothing line specifically dedicated to entrepreneurs. And so we're excited about that. And then we're going to do live workshops where we'll actually be live. We may do it as a live webinar or a live event, depending on how how things turn around with COVID. And so we're excited about it. And then finally, we're going to have a business certification course where it's an 8 to 12 week course. When you get done with that course, when you graduate, we actually get a custom jacket made for you. You know, so it's good to get a certificate, but we're going to get you a jacket and a ring as we celebrate your success in growing your business.
Man, exciting.
Absolutely. Like, wow, I'm speechless. Like, man, amazing. This is amazing.
And, you know, I'm just so very proud of this because, again, I was in that first meeting and, you know, again, you hear things, you hear visions, you know, this guy is brilliant. It's just hard to materialize it in that moment, you know? And so as we progress, everybody's got action items, things are starting to get delivered. Then suddenly the world crashes, right? And it's like, okay, are we doing anything with this, my own business? You know, what's happening? And we all just kind of continue. And I applaud you, Brandon, keeping the strings attached with everybody, making sure that everybody was still engaged and plugged in with each other and still met their deadlines to do things and whatnot. And so it's really great to see it come to fruition. You know, obviously putting the blazers on when we did the photo shoot not long ago was like, wow, this is real. This is really happening. Seeing the videos being uploaded into the platform, you know, all of that was your child. And I just, again, applaud you for that. And I just am happy that you thought broad enough to think about strategic partnering. And, you know, there's just, the future is bright when you are allowing yourself to be open to collaborate with others. I just can't say that enough. So thank you again for having me be part of this big project.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Awesome, gentlemen. This is everyone who's watching across Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitter. I know you've been absolutely impressed with some of the information you received today, and you want to plug this in, www.ownyourmastery.com, as well as Brandon's other promo website here. We did put it in the comments. It was www.lohcpromo.com. Go ahead, get on both of those websites, view them, connect with Brandon, connect with Vic. This is information that you don't want to miss. You will be able to benefit and grow from all of the information. And I'm not familiar with all of the gentlemen, but if they are the same caliber as what you two are, this is an opportunity that you don't want to miss at a price that you can't object to. Like, you're not going to get this information, this level of information, anywhere at this particular cost at all.
Yep. And just as a preparation, we're going to be doing a soft launch. We got some excellent surprises and things that we're going to be talking about specifically about this company, Own Your Business Mastery. The site is up, but it's not fully live yet. But we definitely encourage you to visit it so you can stay in tune with when we do finish it. We're going to do a soft launch this Saturday at the book signing. And so if you're able to be there, whether virtually or physically, we welcome it because we got some special stuff we're going to share with the group that attends this weekend.
Yes, very, very exciting stuff, man. I'm really, really excited about the weekend. Again, please visit Brandon's site. Get the book, The Art of Business. LOHC is what his company's called. Lean on Him Consulting. LOHCpromo.com is where you can get tickets for the event and the book, right, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
The book there as well. So yeah, please got to check it out. This gentleman is a wealth of knowledge. He brings a tremendous amount of value if you are an entrepreneur, not only looking to start a business, but to grow your business. Or maybe you've been in business for years and you've reached a wall and you're trying to find ways to kickstart your sales, get revenue flowing in again. Maybe you need a new image for your company. Maybe you want to target an entirely different market of people so that you can generate more money. Maybe your business has had to take a completely different shift because of the world that we're in right now. And this will be a good gentleman to reach out to, Brandon Powell, so that you can talk through some of the logistics that it requires for you to make that new leap or that new direction or take that new big marketing step for your business. So we appreciate you coming on, man. I'm just so thankful to be not only a strategic partner of yours, but also a friend of yours. So thank you for coming on short notice to talk about the book, brother. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity, and we look forward to seeing everyone that's available this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I do want to mention before we get out of here, we are doing a youth program. Nico Don Projects put together a youth program in the honor of Create Your Future Self. We want kids to create their future selves, and we're going to be teaching some concepts on saving money, how to improve, how to build and maintain great credit scores. You know, we need to be teaching our high schoolers that. So this is a teenager-focused event, 13 through 18. Again, finances, credit, entrepreneurship, and also a segment where I'll go over the high-level overview of a business plan. So we want to teach our kids that there are alternatives out there. Some of them don't want to go to college necessarily and inherit that $30,000 a year in student loan debt.
Let me tell you something. How that 30,000 is an accurate number. So me and David have been doing college visits lately, right? Let me tell you, this one school that's looking at him, and I won't say the name of the school, but it is here in Texas because we have not traveled outside of the state.
Okay.
Even after the scholarship that he qualified for, Vic, there's still $90,000 left for 4 years at today's rate. David don't graduate until next year, and I'm sitting here, and because they're looking at him for football, and I'm like, yeah, y'all gonna have to come up with something else. Y'all gonna have to. So I mean, entrepreneurship is not something that parents should brush their kids away from, because if you're going into a nice university, whether it's public or private, the fee for that is going to be well above, because it was like $40K, by $42K a year.
Oh, my gosh. My gosh.
$42K, and I'm sitting there like, Jesus, fix it.
Yeah, that's yeah, and you know, this is why this is important. You know, entrepreneurs, you know, obviously, if we look back 100 years, even more than that, you know, our culture was big on entrepreneurism, exchanging, bartering, working together. We had our own communities. I mean, we don't even go into, you know, the whole Oklahoma and the cities there where we had our own entire community of prosperous Black-owned businesses. Well, whether you're Black or white, entrepreneurism is the way you should go. There's an unlimited cap on your earnings, unlimited cap on your time, and you can leave something behind that can continue to grow and appreciate the value for your family. So, all of us are very big on entrepreneurism. And now we have a new resource to add on to help you become a strong, successful entrepreneur, The Art of Business, from Mr. Brandon Powell, Lean on Him Consulting. Again, thank you, my brother, for coming on. Looking forward to Saturday. Hopefully we see plenty of people virtually or in person with your mask on if you're in person, man. Don't be bringing none of that stuff around there. But, you know, keep protected down there. Saturday we'll be there 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, man. I mean, so, yes. Anything in closing, bro, you want to say?
Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Excellent hosts. Again, I appreciate the listeners or those that are watching this after the recording. We appreciate you for checking it out. Your time is valuable, and we look forward to seeing you this weekend if you can make it.
Absolutely. Laquita Monley.
Hey, it's been another great episode of Create Your Future Self Live. I'd like to thank all of our audience across Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us. Please continue to like and share these broadcasts. Get this information out. We want to get this information out to as many people as possible. It's some great information. It definitely adds value to the entrepreneur, no matter where you are in your entrepreneurship journey. And most of all, I look forward to seeing everybody back here next Monday again at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.